Hello, everyone. I want to stress to you that with regards to this particular article, that policy has changed with regards to this act. I want to kind of have you connect the dots. Look up some of the information with regards to the Hungry Free Kids Act, how it connects to the pandemic that's just happened, or continues to happen, I should say, and how we look at how we're eating, serving this population. Okay, so let's begin. So taking a look at the the 2010 the Healthy Hungry Kids Act, do a Google search on the National School Lunch Program and the School Breakfast Program. There are many schools within Grand Rapids and throughout the state that actually adhere to this school breakfast program. However, one of the things I always find interesting is the fact that the school breakfast, though they provide breakfast, it's syrupy foods, sugared cereals, and the like. So one of the things I always think of is, how can we change that? Can we provide a more nutritional breakfast? How can we get kids to eat something a little bit better? Nonetheless, so I think what was great about this is that they started to have as well smart snacks and standard food beverages. Now, one of the things that's being talked about too at the policy level is looking at healthy vending machines and smart snacks throughout the day. But the other concern is most of the times we have peanut-oriented ones, so we have to be cognizant of the allergies too that kids have nowadays. But anyway, I digress a little bit. What I think is interesting is that I'm going to just kind of highlight it here. According to qualitative results, school administrators, food service workers perceived that although students initially complained, consumption patterns have not changed significantly. So what I want you to start kind of thinking about is, how could you present change? How would you educate school administrators and food service workers to make differences in foods that are offered, especially at the breakfast level? Again, this is kind of a pet peeve, but anyway. The other thing I want you to kind of pinpoint here is what this study actually did. They used a school meal participation data. So they did a data analysis of that. So of the National School Lunch Program, again, if you don't know a whole lot about it, take a deeper dive. Okay. And they looked at the legislation, the changes. Now, what's great about this is that Dr. Opal will address a little bit about this during her lecture. But anyway, I'm going on with that. I'm going to go here into the methods. Really take a deep dive into the methods too. Okay, and I'm going to highlight some things. Where did they collect the data? Okay, low income, low income areas. What did I remember reading about that? Okay. It's a longitudinal study. Okay, I'm going to highlight that. And they put it in... Okay, I'm trying to remember. Hold on a minute. Lost my train of thought. Got interrupted. So here we go. Public schools located in 4 urban low-income, high-minority areas in New Jersey, were evaluated. So kind of think about, maybe looking at what they did. And then can this particular study could be replicated within the state of Michigan. It's just a matter of getting the data set. So I'm going to just highlight that and have you think about it, okay? And then if I scroll down here, they divided the ABD accounts according to payment type: full, reduced price, free lunch, total. Okay. The other thing is that they examined how it connects to demographics. And they also looked at remember, or go back to your stats class and think about what is a linear mixed model, what they used. Okay. They also used the longitudinal and they used qualitative data. So they didn't do a true mixed method, but it is there. So the overall results of the study, what I thought was interesting, is we're consistent, right? From previous studies of, connecting the national school lunch programs and the breakfast programs. One of the things that was also interesting about this was the comparison data. So like, for example, right here, they didn't have a statistically significant difference. Now, if you scroll down and take a look at figure 1, which I would encourage you to do, where does that difference lie? Which I thought was interesting. I mean, again, this is going to end up changing, especially with the pandemic. But what's interesting about this is that, again, according to this graph, I mean, where does that lie? According to the figure addressing the National School Lunch Program and the Breakfast Program, looking at this, what is the lowest participating rate among students eligible for the free and reduced lunch, especially in the year 2013? Okay, I mean, you'll notice some differences. You'll also notice that there maybe is a difference in 2010 and 2011. Going on, taking a look at this, well, where the heck happened to the other chart? Did I miss something? Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. What I thought was interesting to go into the discussion, again, a reiteration, taking a look at the studies. 2 studies examined school meal participations focusing on participation rates. That's key. Why is that key? Because how do we get kids to eat the right breakfast? Okay, and then they also say participation in the community eligible provisions and alternative breakfast promotion projects. What kind of projects were they doing? How are they advocating for better foods? How are they getting kids to eat breakfast every morning? Because some people don't even, I mean, if I had to do a poll, how many of you eat breakfast every day? So, as noted, again, 2 studies examined school meal participation, focusing on participation rates itself. Okay, I thought in 2012 that they had a drop in data. I would be like, what? Why? Outside of what they presented, I mean, there has to be a reason, right? However, I think they kind of address it, but I'm still questioning, going, what? However, with the continued student exposure to healthy meals, well, what does a healthy meal consist of? And that's where I think I'm like, that kind of gives me like a big question mark. What does a healthy meal consist of? Okay, because to me, having breakfast that's like French toast, pancakes, and lots of syrup isn't really the best breakfast you can have, especially when you're a growing kid. So I kind of think about it. But again, there's a cost factor too. I mean, if we offer different types of food for breakfast, can school districts really afford that? I know we can debate that forever, but I thought, again, at the end, I think that they brought it together pretty well. Oh, wait, you know what? I should probably bring this up. Alternative breakfast promotions. What kind of alternative breakfast would that be? And again, they don't mention that. I mean, maybe it's scrambled eggs and a couple pieces of bacon, or not necessarily fruit all the time, because kids are going to take the fruit. The sugar is what connects them. I've seen this for a fact in some Grand Rapids public schools. I used to mentor students at GRP, and we'd go to breakfast with them at their cafeteria, and my students would always pick the sugared cereal and the French toast, and if they did get the scrambled eggs, they'd get a big bowl of fruit to go with it. I'm thinking glycemic index. Anyway, participation in community eligible provisions and alternative breakfast promotion projects. What would that look like? What's an alternative breakfast? With that said, I hope you enjoyed this article, and I will see you later.